Peace family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how they tried the wrong one. They played that game with the wrong one. It's mind-blowing having to dive into this subject and reflect on your life, and then also be able to use some of your past experiences and encounters and some of the information you gain from other people after you've dealt with certain beings. I had a recent situation that kind of pushed me into this subject today, and recent meaning within the past couple months, not like yesterday, last week, kind of recent. Because usually when things cross my space or I experience them, I have to make sure that I do enough deep diving before I present it, because I like to approach and look at all avenues and angles. So I believe that we all should be knowing human behavior, which is quote unquote psychology they make you go to school to get a piece of paperwork for. Neither here nor there. You know, some of the best cooks never went to a culinary arts school. It's that simple. Anyways, I had a situation over the past few months where I was engaging with somebody and I was showing them interest, and they decided to play that little game that people play out here in today's society, where if you show them that you don't care, then they show you that they care. When you show that you do care, then they'll do the opposite. So it's never gonna be trying to be in synchronicity with you. They're always gonna do the opposite. It's like, oh, okay, well, I like tea. Well, I like lemonade. I like soda, or I like liquor. You know, it's always gonna be some kind of weird friction, combativeness, opposition, friction in between there. And I've been in this space for long enough now to where I understand me, my weak points and my strongest points. I understand the spiritual realm and how things operate. I use a lot of my life to reflect on, to give me more insight going into the future before I engage and deal with other beings. And I'm at a space now to where sometimes it's like a coin toss, right? I don't really toss a coin, but spiritually I flip a coin. So every person I don't approach or take the same angle with them. So this one I was trying, all right, well, I'm usually always honest for the most part, but let me try to minimize some of these things over here and amplify some of these things over here. So when I say that, I mean like I start giving insight as far as like my walk of life, the things that I kind of experienced, what kind of got me to the space I'm in, to show that, all right, he do have some insight. He is connecting with me, the being within. I also think that made that person uncomfortable as well too, because most people are used to being able to hide who they are, and just hopefully people only pay attention to the physical presentation and then the picture that the being on the inside is painting for them to see. Meaning that they could be right-hand writers and drawers, but the picture they painting is them going with their left hand. So it throws you off because you see them doing almost everything with their right hand, but they're telling you that they're a lefty, you know? Long story short, I gave this being like the rundown of like life and how it be happening for me, and what happens to people who, you know, who are engulfed in this light and they take it and they use it to do something prosperous, but also the beings who took advantage of it and how they had something crazy happen to them right afterwards. And I tried to, not full detail explaining to them, but I tried to give them like, I don't know, let's give them fruit sizes, you know what I mean? Like instead of giving them a whole grapevine, you know, I just pulled a couple off, like, this is the gist of the grapes right here. Here you go, try this. And they didn't want to take heed to it because that's just how things operate. They did say they was one of the beings that didn't take accountability or whatever. So they had did something else that I didn't like, and I took that as a form of disrespect. And when people disrespect you, because I know when people disrespect me, I'm weighing things out like this. They don't value me, so that's going down. I value myself, so now I have to give them some kind of logical, appropriate response, reaction, slash. For me, it's just taking action, but to some, they would see it as disciplinary. So if you disrespect me, then I have to do something about it. Not saying I gotta do something brutal to you, but in that manner, I had just called it out, and then I was just pulling back away from it. That was my form of handling the disrespect. So me and the being, we stopped engaging, right? They not chasing, I'm not chasing, because now I'm gonna be at a lower value if I keep trying to engage with somebody who blatantly is just disrespecting me. And I told them what time it was. I told them. They had been working at their job for like a little bit over 2 years. And soon as we stopped talking, right? That's when the channel, my one video did really good in the algorithms. It was like the universe rewarded me, like that witch thought they was about to get in here or have you on some weird shit, or you actually passed your test by removing yourself from that space and standing on, you know, your principles and not allowing this person to devalue you or disrespect you. Boom, I'm getting rewarded from the universe. We just picked up like almost 10,000 subscribers. This being had got sick for 2 weeks. To me, to them, on the lower level, it just looks like it came out of nowhere. Oh, she just got sick. She had to miss work. She missed work for 2 weeks. I came back from work. I still wasn't talking to this person. I only knew they missed work because I had ran into them right when they got back to work, because I had stopped by their location because I be doing all kind of avenues to make money. So I do some driving work sometimes too, depending on where my numbers is at. Anyways, I had to stop by their location and they gave me this little sob story. Oh yeah, I've been really sick for 2 weeks and blah blah. I was like really down bad and now I'm just now kind of getting it back together. Okay, cool. And I was just thinking to myself, yeah, that makes sense. You know, you tried to be witchy with me, and now some sickness just hits you out of nowhere, knocks you down to the point to where you have to miss work. That wasn't enough, because the person still wanted to try to engage with me. And it's like, you've been at your job for 2.5 years. A week or two later, this person lost their whole job, got fired. One of the employees had mentioned it to me, was like, yeah, such and such had got fired. It wasn't really her fault. I didn't ask for details or anything. And I was just thinking to myself like, damn, I didn't want to smile, but it was just like, fuck, I hate being right all the time. Because I operate with sources. Not like, I don't give a fuck if people see it as being egotistical. Like, if you have to walk in someone's shoes and their way of life to really fully understand why they believe the way they believe. And unless you really tapped in with source, it's going to be hard for you to really dive in and put yourself in other people's shoes. Anyways, I just was so like, I told her, I told you, I told them, I told all of them. I've dealt with people and we disagreed honestly and we went our separate ways and they was Gucci. It's always the ones who try to put those demonic, nasty vibrations out, the beings who try to devalue you when you have given them not anything negative, you just giving them all love, light, help, you know, you being as sincere and as genuine as you possibly can be. And it was like you was working that job 2.5 years before you met me. You did some demonic shit to the wrong being. You got sick for 2 weeks, and then no longer than, I would say, 2 weeks again after that, 2 to 3 weeks, you fired from the job. I be trying to tell these people, when you come into our lives, you cannot play with us. I didn't have to do anything physically for justice to be served. I didn't have to do anything physically. Spiritually, oh yeah, every time that motherfucker cross my space, I'm sending them the worst vibes possible. I'm doing everything I can to remove them from crossing along my space. I'm not one of them people that's like, when they cross my space, like, oh yeah, I really liked her. I really cared. It's like, nah, fuck that. Once you devalue me, when you cross my space, I'm slapping the shit out you in the spiritual realm. And if I'm wrong, I usually have to pay for it if I'm wrong. This time I knew it wasn't, because the creator, the source, pushed the video through the algorithms literally less than a week of me cutting that being off. They thought they was gonna not respond to my messages, but constantly watch my Snapchat stories. Not my Instagram stories, they didn't follow me there, but my Snapchat stories. And it's just like, that's disrespectful. Now I gotta block you. And this was just so prevalent because I've had a large amount of beings who try to come around and be demonic and witchy, and then the universe will correct it right away and shows which side these beings is on, which team these beings is on, which team is supporting each other. It doesn't work. They can play these games, they can try these little tricks with everybody else, but soon as they do it to us over here, trust me, they gonna have to pay for it. I know some people like, leave it in the creator's hands, leave it in God's hands. Look, I didn't do anything physical to the being at all. It was no, oh, let me keep calling, oh, let me keep texting. No, it was any time that person came across my space. What happens is when you spend a large amount of time with people and then they just, y'all just pull away right away, you still have to separate spiritually. I wasn't that damn connected that I couldn't disconnect, but we had been around each other's energy long enough that it was still crossing path up here. So I always made sure that I wasn't sending any love, light, and protection and healing energy over that way, because it's not my job to protect you spiritually or physically. And we kind of help blanket them to a degree when we are in their presence, meaning that the shit that they had done to other people, they have to pay for. So even though I didn't do anything physically, this being was already a disgusting being already anyways. Which they wasn't honest. It was just a lot of things that was lined up in place why I made it extremely easy to disconnect, But it was a lot of things that was in place that showed that this is the playbook, this demonic playbook is the one that they're going to use and the one that they're going to live by. I have examples through almost each year, every 2 years, every 3, it doesn't matter which time span it is, of beings who decided to be demonic in the presence of some godly energy, and then they end up having some weird stuff happen to them. I done had people go to the hospital, I done seen people go behind to jail, and this wasn't anything that I've ever done physically to these beings. All kind of crazy shit, but this was just another icing on the top, because I haven't been engaged with anybody as far as on those levels to have that kind of situation retranspire itself again. And I definitely didn't let it last long enough for it to hold any real weight or substance. But it's just the simple fact that they was presented with the best godly energy that they probably ever had in their presence. Not saying that I'm the best, but it's a lot of males out here that don't operate like I do. It's a lot of males out here that don't vibrate the way I do. So when you are coming across beings like us, whether you on the male or female spectrum, they are gonna have to pay, and it's usually something that seems like it's just thrown out of nowhere. But I already knew where it came from. This person was working a job 2.5 years before me. As soon as they meet me, now they done lost their job. They done got sick for 2 weeks, and now they done lost a job that they done been in. And let this person tell it, that's all they do is work. All I do is work. I just work and go home. That's all I do is work and go home. When people say that, I automatically think demon time. Because that means that you don't have any substance within yourself. Even if I do grind and work all day, which I do a lot of, I still don't process everything when I'm engaging with people as a, I just work all day. Unless I'm trying to keep it extremely short, because I know this being don't care and I'm just giving a quick response. Like, Yeah. I did my usual routine. That's what I'll say. My usual routine, which varies, So just understanding these things, like, I'm not a fan of sending people this love and vibration, this protection, this healing to beings when they are operating using the demonic playbook, when they are showing that they don't value me, when they showing that they don't respect me. It's simple. I value myself and I respect myself enough. That's why I vibe with the Creator, and that's why they always have these weird situations happen with them. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all over here can process situations where you done dealt with beings before. You gave them nothing but genuine sincerity, love, light, health, healing energy, insight, information. You was just tapped in everywhere possible, just giving life. That's what we do. We give life. So when you give life, it's a whole recipe that comes with giving life. You can have a seed, but it's a whole recipe in order to sprout that seed. You can have a baby, but it's a whole process into having a baby. It's these recipes. You have to know the recipes. We literally need a spiritual book for recipes, as far as like, all right, this is the recipe for this. This is the recipe for that. Because a lot of people are using these English words and they're just trying to put one word onto it when the English shit don't do no justice for us, Even trying to communicate this outwardly, sometimes it gets a little difficult, and I have to slow my processor down to make sure that I'm pulling and using, appropriate words, or I'm using my words in the right manner, sequence for it to make sense. You know what I mean? Like, I just said that like a robot. I was like, yeah, I have to pull. That's how slow I had to slow my processor down just now. I'm trying to tell y'all. But the good thing about being in this love and light, is that we stay young forever. We stay young forever. I'm 38 years old. I done been through a hell of a lot of shit. Most people would never be able to tell. You know what I mean? I'm not a frowny person, so I don't have like big wrinkles on my forehead from walking around like this. When y'all see me frowning outside, it's because the sun is in my face. Outside of that, I'm naturally a peaceful, lit being. You know what I mean? That's ready for war at all times. I done laughed and joked with friends and went straight to war with them right away, either with them or against them. This smile doesn't deter any of that, and it doesn't determine my level of masculinity. Because I guarantee you, any masculine man come step on my toes, I'm going to show him what the fuck masculinity will do to somebody who is willing to do something like that. You know what I mean? So just being aware of these things, like, you will have to sever ties faster when you're dealing with some of these other beings, because we give people chances and opportunities. So I know you're still going to give people chances and opportunities. You just have to be willing to cut the ties, cut the rope faster. You gotta be willing to do it faster, especially when they're devaluing you and they're disrespecting you, because every time you keep communicating and engaging with them, it's showing that you don't appreciate yourself. It's showing that, okay, you have some weak link areas over here and they're about to extort you for it. You ain't about to extort me for that over here. No, sir. And anybody that's tapped in over here, you are aware enough now that you don't have to get extorted. And just understand that theirs always come back to them. It comes back faster when they deal with us. See, she had already hurt a bunch of people before me. So when I got there, the crib was like, all right, this your chance to get your shit straight. She was like, nah, I don't want to. And she's still probably paying for it. I just don't have no communication. But those were two things that happened immediately in a matter of a month and a half. You got sick for 2 weeks, and then you lost your job where you said you just all you do is work, and you've been there for 2.5 years. You know what I mean? So they always they tried it with the wrong one. They tried it with the wrong one. They wanted to see if we was sincere, if we was genuine, if we was really who we was projecting to be, because they're painting a picture. We're not painting a picture. We're showing you who we are. I don't need to paint no pictures. If I'm painting a picture, best believe I'll let you know I'm painting a picture like I do with you guys when I am giving examples and putting different things in place for better visuals for the inside. And it's just not worth the investment, especially if you're not built for this battle. If you're not built for the battle, it's not worth the investment. But if you built for the battle and you want to learn, you have to learn and gain new insight and information by real life experiences. You get real life experiences by putting yourself in situations. That's how you gain real life experiences. You could talk to me about riding a bike all day, but I'm not going to know how to ride it until I get on it. It's just that simple, you know what I mean? But I didn't want to run it up too long, you know what I mean? They tried that game with the wrong one, and they seeing now, currently, what is happening to them, what is going on with them right now. You know, they going to get hit in their pockets. Usually the first thing for me when people are over this way, they usually get hit in their health. Most beings over this way, when they try this one over here, they usually get hit in the health first. They say your health is wealth. So if that is a big key factor for me, then that's the energy vibration I put out. Then the creator and source know, like, all right, well, if you want me to send some of the warriors out to kind of take care of business for you, you know, you can show them, walk them over there to this in the spiritual realm, you know what I mean? We got you covered. But you got to walk that life. You got to be willing to put that work in. You got to be willing to dive into experiences. The more fear you have, the more control the other team has over you. The more fear you have, the more control the other team has over you. Minimize the fear. Understand that you can fight back spiritually. I'm not with somebody just getting over me or walking all over me and thinking that it's okay. Like, that's just not my vibes. If that's your vibes, cool. To each his own. But when I look at nature, it's not even set up out here that way. You know what I mean? But I don't want to run it up too long. Tapping everything down below. And I want to say, appreciate everybody that's been donating. Y'all know I don't ask for anything. I'm just going to still be up here dropping this work down, because it's what we do. I'm not going to talk about being something different. I'm just going to do it. But I do appreciate all the donations that's been coming in. You know, I don't mention it. I don't have it tagged up there. It's literally at the bottom of the description. Like, you got to tap the arrow to drop the down arrow, to tap another arrow to drop and get the other down arrow before you get there to even see my links. You know what I mean? So I always let my walk of life do the talking for me. People want to judge me. Oh, well, they're going to judge me anyway. They've been judging me my whole life. I was on big sporting events, doing basketball, football. You know, I was always pulled first in gym class to show the class how it's done, whether it was tennis, volleyball, soccer, golf. I don't give a damn what it is, hacky sack, you know, any of it. I'm getting pulled first to show for an example. You know what I mean? But I do want to say I appreciate all the donation. I appreciate all the comments as well too. Y'all be showing hella love. Y'all be showing hella love. Y'all don't even understand how much I be appreciating it, you know. I know I haven't always had a chance to go through and heart everybody's, because right now I got a lot of stuff going on. So I'm literally like penny pinching time and everything right now. But it's going to all get organized a lot smoother here sooner. You know what I mean? But I appreciate everybody still rocking with the tribe and staying tapped in. You know what I mean? Everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.